What's going on, Rhode Island? We're here at another episode of the Park Podcast here at the historic Park Theater and Event Center in Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm with my man, Harry, Jon Hope Grisby. That's a good intro, right? Like a little energy.
Yeah, I
there.
like that, man.
Yeah.
I like that. There was a lot to it, man.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
excited to be here, man.
I appreciate you being here, man. I've been a fan for a long time, kind of just watching your evolution and growth,
you.
and a man that wears many hats. You're a personality. You're out there in the communities. You're inspiring through music, through that hope shit.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can swear on this, but it is my podcast,
There
right?
it is.
And I mean, I just watched the work and the process that you continue to put into not only your brand, but most importantly, a brand that is inspiring in a time that people need it the most. So I guess tell the viewers a little about yourself. That's cool.
Yeah, well, first, thank you so much for having me. I'm somebody who wears a lot of hats, right? You know, like first and foremost, the music is the central piece. I'm a hip hop artist. I've been making music independently for quite some time, and just had growing success throughout the years. And then I decided to kind of expand off the music, and I started my own multimedia company called Zane Butler, and in doing so, I've been able to create my own content, put out things that I want to see and I want to enjoy, where I see there's a void within the hip hop landscape, and then I realized, so this was about like 2014, 2015. I realized I was like suppressing a lot of my talents and gifts. You know what I'm saying? For maybe I was ego driven, thinking like I could just be a rapper or just be an artist. But then I realized that I can host. I can host events, and I have a lot of range. And so, man, I'm going into my 16th season as the in-game arena host for the Providence College Friars, and it's just
Which
crazy.
is incredible, right?
It's insane. It's like I don't even know how that happens, but yeah, that has been such a training ground for me. Just an amazing experience with the people of Friartown. I've been able to see the growth in the program and the evolution, what Coach Cooley has been able to do. And with all that being said, I like to think that I'm a huge part of that, alongside
Sure.
DJ Finesse. Shout out Finesse. And so those things, I didn't promote it. I didn't promote it. I still don't really know fully why, but I think there was just some ego involved, thinking that it wasn't hip hop enough. You know what I mean? But
I think that's an interesting point you bring up, ego.
Yeah.
And, through our evolution and growth of the process, it's impossible for ego not to come into that place.
Yeah.
But if you can get to a place where you put ego aside and you're just finding your authentic self and being genuine with who you are and putting out a message during a pandemic in a tough world, Jon Hope, the persona, the brand that you've developed and crafted and kind of got out there and putting music out that inspire others. But we're also putting out, and you touched on that a little bit, just a message of hope, right? A shirt of hope, a hat of hope, and everyone started rocking them, in a time that we all needed a little bit of hope. So, I like to see that your evolution and your growth within yourself as not only an artist, but as a dad, which I'm sure we'll touch on later in this, which, I was just blessed with that. Amazing feeling.
Congrats.
But, what are you looking forward to the evolution of yourself as an artist through all these experiences that have led you to this point?
I think what I've realized, I would say 2022, this year has been the best year of my life, thus far, and I'm excited for what's to come. But the reason is my relationship with ego. I removed it. I removed it, and I'm operating from a place of confidence now, a strong confidence in understanding who I am.
Yep.
And so when I reflect back on my career, as an artist, as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, I realize that even though I've been giving such great product and such great experiences, I was operating from a deficit. I was operating from a place of insecurity. So I'm like, man, if I did all of this from a place of insecurity, imagine now.
Sure.
Now that I'm confident, now that I know who I am, there's no one that can tell me that I'm not Jon Hope or that I'm not, I'm not dope. You know what I mean? I'm not seeking external validation. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for that, to operate from a place of strength and from a place of confidence.
That resonates on so many levels, because even myself as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as now a father, as someone that's out there in the community, I think at times we're often our hardest critic, right?
Right.
We're so tough on ourselves. And for me, when I'm having a tough week, a tough month, a tough day, whatever it may be, I often go back to music, songs of inspiration, songs of hope, something that, Man in the Mirror has been a big one for me.
Come on,
I need
Mike.
Right? I need to look in the mirror and see myself, and that song kind of brings me to tears of, no, you do have this.
Right.
And to your point, when you are operating at a different frequency, a different level, a different motivating factor of confidence, right? The best comes out.
Exactly.
Right? And I feel like, and I hope you're okay with touching on it, but you have a documentary about to come out with, and some big level producers, or I don't know how much you can or can't talk on that. But
Man. I mean, that's just a prime example. So I have a docuseries that I'm working on that's going to be coming out real soon, and I'm working with Shadowline Productions, which is Tom Brady's production company,
sure
right?
That is,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and it's a project. Can't give the title just yet.
Yeah, of course.
But it's definitely an extension of hip hop, of my brand as we enter. 2023 is going to be 50 years of hip hop. Of a culture that's young and that's progressing. But this project is highlighting and illuminating what the hip hop looks like today and where it's going.
Yep.
And so I've been blessed to work with an amazing team that's been able to get my ideas out, working with my man Kobe, my man Gilad, and so it's super dope, man. Like to be able to have that level of production and that sort of support behind me, I'm excited, and I'm on some like hip hop. What's the guy's name? Anthony. What's the Badorian? What's the guy's name that does he travels around the world and interviews people? Oh my gosh. Bourdain, Anthony Bourdain, Anthony Bourdain. Like, I'm the hip hop Anthony Bourdain. That's the kind of the role that I play. So I'm interviewing some amazing folks who are doing some great things in the spirit of hip hop.
Yep.
Yeah.
You said a lot there that hit me. Is it takes a lot to build a team. It's not an overnight success, right? You didn't get to this point where people wanted to cover your story and the rippling effects that your music and your brand is doing, not only for yourself, right, and uplifting your confidence and who you are as a person, but to the community around you. And you're on a couple different teams. You have a team helping get your message out. So it's not easy to get someone to believe in your vision and your creativity. It takes consistency. It takes hard work. It takes being able to get up out of bed in a bad day and finding that hope shit.
Right.
Day in and day out to get people to say, okay, this is worth my time. I want to invest in helping this artist. Additionally, you touched on it a little bit earlier, as your personality, Providence College, they've done a great job building not only the team that's on the court, but just the overall experience around it, right? That arena is electric. And, of course, you play a big part with finesse, getting the crowd going, and then the cheerleaders and just the giveaways. And it's not just a basketball game. It's a team that's putting on a massive production, and that's the same kind of with music and all that. And within that process, and I have an ending to all this, how do you, I guess, not get lost? Right, because endorphins are real.
Yeah,
when you're on that mic and you're on fire and you're on stage and it's electric. It's real, right? When you go back and you go home and you're raising your daughter. Yeah. What does that feel like?
My daughter keeps me grounded. Right, she knows who I am. I know who I am too. So I've been doing this for a long time, and now I trust myself. I trust myself that I'm making the right decisions. I trust myself that I will deliver. Right. It's weird because I I did not trust myself. People looked at me in a way that I didn't see myself.
Sure.
And it took a while to arrive at that place, because I was such a harsh critic of myself and my production and whatnot. I had to really believe.
Yeah.
And it's ironic because I was doing the work, but the mindset wasn't there. I get up, I work out, I put those 10,000 hours in, but it was almost like a formality. It was almost like, oh, this is what Kobe Bryant does, or this is what Michael Jordan does, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you also have to believe
Sure.
that what you're doing is going to deliver the results. And I think for me, I'm at that place where there's an alignment mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's all one. It's all unison. Whereas there was some misalignment,
Sure. Balance, alignment is so important in everything in the process. You talked
exactly.
about grounding.
Yeah.
Right? It can't be all just work, right?
No,
there has
can't.
To be balance in the process to create at the highest level where you're actually sitting down, I imagine, with your pad and expressing your vulnerable truth, right? So you ever new record or what are they?
Yeah, man. So I'm working on some new material right now. I'm super excited about it. And again, it's just it's this place where it's a feeling and a place that a lot of hip hop artists don't tend to explore. It's underexplored because the culture is so young, right? It's like what does the mature lens look like? And we're starting to see it trickle down a little bit. Jay-Z with 444, Nas with Life is Good. Just hip hop in the spaces of fatherhood, parenting, like no more of the, I'm trying to present what it means to be on the other side of struggle.
Yep.
And that's a really delicate thing because a lot of my music came from that place. So it's like it's been such a great time to create from a place of, all right, this is what it looks like over here. Like when you're happy or when you know what I mean, when you're at a place of peace.
Because that pain, that struggle carries us, right?
Oh, it does.
It carries us through the grind. And, but we have to hope
Right.
in a mindset perspective, from that pain, from that struggle comes beauty.
Right.
And it's almost like, I feel like, because, and I know we have similar stories grinding through the process, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have to accept beauty.
Right.
And the best version of what's to come
Yeah.
into our life as we continue to believe in the work that we're putting in leads to what's next. Right?
Man, we really have to, as human beings, we have to give ourselves permission to be great.
Yep.
Right? In the hip hop world, we're fixated, and I get it. I love it. We're fixated with the struggle. We're fixated with sort of like this deficit based mentality. You know what I'm saying? But we deserve to be at peace. We deserve to be happy. And
everyone's struggling.
And
it's a different kind of struggle.
It is, right.
Everyone's struggling, but if we can understand someone else's perspective, then we can get back at a table and create real change through music.
Empathy, man.
Yeah.
Empathy, that's really what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's so powerful and so important because I think that's sort of the seed for a lot of change and understanding and whatnot. I mean, you and I, right? I've known you for a minute now. I can't even think of a time where we've even acknowledged our differences. It's been more about our commonalities, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, it's not like, yo, here's this black dude who's a rapper and I'm kicking it. Like, it's just like, nah, man, come through to Thirsty Beaver.
Just jive. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get something. We went to Hemingway's one time,
that was
and we
powerful.
kicked it. You know what I mean? And that's not to say we're looking at things through rose-colored glasses or whatever.
Sure.
But I think it's more of a humanized
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? All the while acknowledging, like, there's some things in this world that are not ideal.
Sure.
But
how do you fix it if you
but
don't
how do
learn
you
about
fix
it?
it? Right,
Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're more solution oriented, and I
Sure.
think that's our affinity.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I profess through my music, through all my content. I have it tatted on my arm. Affinity, hope, and it's not like it's not romanticized. Like
Yeah.
it's a realistic approach. Like I'm acknowledging that things are bleak, but I'm also acknowledging that my strength and positivity is even more is bigger
Yeah.
than the challenge in front of me. You know what
and
I mean?
know we've had conversations on this. It's you could go into a day, a mindset. You had a horrific day before, right? You got to get out of bed, and you could go in and go,
Yeah.
this day is going to go just like yesterday, right? Or you could
Right.
go, no, I'm gonna get out of bed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find solutions, and I'm gonna go with a positive approach, and I'm gonna share other good things that I see of hope and throughout Rhode Island,
Right,
versus
right.
finding the negative and everything that we can't control.
Right.
Like you said, there is negative in this world. There's
Yeah.
no denying it. There's things out of our control that we're not going to be able to fix overnight, in a year, maybe even 5 years. But
Right.
if we can keep every single day doing the same processes and structures that we've done for our own internal self-growth to improve ego,
Yeah.
increase empathy,
Right.
And that being said, I think at certain points of the process, we learn to just push away those that say, you can't do it,
Oh yeah.
not possible,
Yeah.
right? And we resonate with those that, yeah, you got this, keep going,
Yeah,
I see you,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, and it helps you up, and it
Yeah.
keeps you going, and then next thing you know, you're doing whatever it may be, and you're like, damn,
Right.
I'm here.
Right.
And you got to believe,
Yeah.
like you said, right, when you're in that point, to excel at the level when you have that opportunity, which a lifetime of work
Yes.
to get you there,
Facts.
right?
Facts, man. It's so important to have the right people around you, and not in the sense of like skill set or anything, but people that like pour into you, right? Energy is so infectious. I think for me, I was trying to force relationships.
Yeah.
I was trying to force,
Synergistic opportunities.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it ain't there, it ain't there, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's the part of ego that I'm talking about where I remove. So when I talk about ego, it's not like the grandiose. I'm talking about where I'm able to say, you know what? This person might have done something to me, but it's less about me and more about them.
Yeah.
I don't need to react. I can respond and just walk away or move or whatever, or understanding that like this doesn't work and I don't need to try to make it work.
Sure.
And that's okay. So that's what I mean with my relationship with ego has improved.
Yep.
Because before I used to you know what I mean, with this positive intention, but that in itself is toxic, right?
Sure.
There's a toxic positivity when you just no, we can do this, and you got, it's like, like, no, let's accept, there's a thing called radical acceptance.
Yeah.
Accept the situation for what it is, and move and pivot, accordingly.
Yeah, of course, because time is our greatest currency.
Real
right?
shit,
And
real shit.
I think everything you said I agree with, because we could push through. We could. We ego and just our abilities to grind, right?
Yeah.
We believe we could make it work. It might take a lot of time, but is it the best resources of our time, right? Are we?
There it is.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
What should, this has been a great conversation, and
Yeah.
I know we've spoke. It's the theater is finally reopened. We have a show
Yeah.
coming up, and it's been the biggest challenge, the biggest fight, but throughout that process, watching our team really just not give up. I mean, there were days where it was like, as that water was coming down, and tears came to my eyes
Yeah.
after 9 months of a renovation, because this theater we didn't do for money. It wasn't the currency.
Passion project.
It's a passion project to
Yeah.
literally get people back out of the house, having conversations like this, enjoying music, enjoying laughter, enjoying dancing, enjoying each other, right?
Yeah.
And we're excited to open again, and I know we've talked on making some magic happen on that stage from all
Yeah.
different ranges
Yeah.
of music and hip hop. We've talked a lot on this conversation on and what that does to specific types of communities, but everyone likes different kinds of music. So
Right.
what a great, and I would love to see you and my man Chachi
Yeah.
on that stage doing some culture shock here in Cranston,
Yeah.
and bringing that movement kind of everywhere.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I think so too, right?
That'd be dope, man. I mean, that's the type of energy, that's the type of progression that I think would be so beneficial in so many different ways.
Yeah.
in so many different ways, and so I'm for it. You know what I mean? I gotta rock the stage in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'm all for it, man. I think it's just one of those things where we put a date on it.
Heck yeah.
And plan and we execute like we know how to do.
We do. So what's next? What's your people? How can they check out your music? Jon Hope, Harry Grisby.
Yeah, everything Jon Hope, PVD. JONHOPE PVD. That's the website, JonHopePVD.com. I just launched a scholarship for my nonprofit Hope Scholars Initiative.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're gonna give some money to two individuals for the 2023-2024 academic year, and just reward them for being their authentic selves and connecting their lived experiences to their academic experience. Yep. I remember when I was a kid, I'd get on the bus and we'd have these, really spirited conversations centered around like an album. Like, yo, Ed, did you hear that Biggie? Did you hear that Nas? Da 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 da. And and then homeroom bell rings, and now we got to stop, and it becomes sort of like water cooler talk. And so what I've done with my nonprofit is to center that conversation to really strengthen the engagement between what kids are doing, feeling, and living in school. You know what I mean? And so I want to reward that. And this is the first time I've done something like this. So I'm super excited about that.
It's good for them, but it feels good for you, right?
Yeah,
a lot
man.
of people open doors for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So music coming. Yeah, man, I'm really excited about these new records. I have a single coming out called Never Died that is super dope, man. And just growing the brand, the Hope Signature Collection, and just trying to create ways to really, inspire people to improve their quality of life.
I think this is exactly what this podcast is about. There's a lot of news out there that's negative, right? And we want to share stories of hope.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you being on today. This is a friendship that I think is going to continue on
for a
long, long time. But I'm so behind you. I'm so behind
my guy.
Your movement, your
Likewise.
message, everything you're doing. And I appreciate your time today and being on the Park Podcast here with me today. So
thank you for having me.
I just want to thank our sponsor for today, Soul Source Construction. Appreciate the support. Again, I just want to thank my man, Harry, Jon Hope Grisby, for being here. A lot of fun today on the Park Podcast. Look forward to watching your progress, and appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, my guy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.